Hey, Andy here from builderhottub.com. In this video, we're going to take a look at a bottom drain or a main drain for a swimming pool, cocktail pool or plunge pool. So let's go ahead and take a look. So a bottom drain or a main drain, something that looks a little bit like this. There's a few different terms and they all really refer to the same thing. So a bottom drain, a main drain, a swimming pool drain generally refers to something that looks a bit like this, that's going to sit at the bottom of your swimming pool, cocktail pool or plunge pool, and it's part of the inward suction on the plumbing. Now, the first misconception is that the drain, as we call it, is actually used to empty the pool. That's not really the case. The drain is used as part of the inward suction, and it's either ideally on its own separate plumbing lines going towards the front of the pump, and you'll create a manifold system on the front of the pump where you're able to isolate the two main drains, because you always have two in a swimming pool, plunge pool or cocktail pool. With the skimmer or multiple skimmers, they would be on their own inward plumbing lines as well. So generally after the lower drains and the skimmer, it goes into the pump, through the filter, through your heater, and then back into your pool via the hot water returns. So what do we need to know about these lower drains? Firstly, as I've said, they have different names that really refer to the same thing. And we're generally talking about the drains that sit at the bottom of the pool. So this particular model here is one of the ones that I use on my builds. It's pretty simple. It's from a company called Certikin, and this is a 6-inch flat grill. It's designed to sit in the floor of the pool, and it's got a 2-inch threaded connection inside here. Now, ideally, you can have those two drains. You always have two, and that's just for safety. You have those two equally spaced in the center of your pool, and they can be connected together, and they can then be connected to the front of the pump. And as I said, generally, you will have separate plumbing lines for your skimmers and for your lower drains. And again, it's just so you can isolate and change the flow as required. And also, if you're going to use a vacuum cleaner on the skimmer, for example, you would turn off the suction on the drains just to put all of the force of the pump onto the particular skimmer that you wanted to use to actually vacuum your pool. So what else do we need to know? Well, all of the drains from all of the main companies, so the Certikins, the Waterways, the Haywards, the Pentaires, they are all certified for anti-entrapment. Now, different states in the US have different regulations for the actual grills, but all of these companies, all of the drains that they produce, all have anti-entrapment covers, so it's very difficult to get things actually caught in these. What's different about a swimming pool and a plunge pool drain really comes down to the flow rates. So the flow rates on these are much lower than on a hot tub, for example. A hot tub where you need a couple of 200 gallon per minute drains in order to get the flow through your jets. You don't with a swimming pool, so you can get away with a much lower flow, and typically something like this would be around 80 gallons a minute on the flow rates. So this is really why we have a different set of drains for a hot tub and a swimming pool. When it comes to fitting these, slightly different from our hot tubs where we can put the drains or the suction in the side walls. These must go in the floor, and you will put them in place before you pour any of your swimming pool. So you're going to have to dig down a little bit further than the base of your pool so you can fit this unit. And the whole idea is that the top portion here is flush with the finished surface. You're going to want to remove the grill. There's just a couple of screws on this particular model that enables you to take the grill off. And then you're going to want to probably fill it with foam and just seal it up so that you're not going to get any concrete in there when you actually pour your swimming pool. On some of the lower drains, you will also find a valve or a port on the bottom which is called HRV. So HRV stands for hydrostatic release valve. And this is important if you're going to drain your pool down at the winter, for example, and you also know that the area that you live in has a high water table. What the hydrostatic release valve enables you to do is, if that pool is left empty and the water table, so the water in the ground, actually rises up, what you can find is it can actually lift your pool out of the ground, causing damage, especially if it's a fiberglass pool. With concrete, it can still damage your pool as well. So if you are going to plan on draining your pool down for the winter season, then it's a good idea to fit the hydrostatic release valve. That would go into the base here. What they do is, when the pressure of the water from the water table gets too great, the valve opens and allows some water into the pool to relieve the pressure. So you actually get dirty water from the ground, from the water table, coming into your pool. It's empty anyway, so that's totally fine, and it just stops the pool from cracking or trying to be lifted with that pressure. So it's only really an issue if you are going to drain down at the winter, for example, and you know that you live in an area with a particularly high water table. Other than that, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward to install a swimming pool drain. As always, please subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. I appreciate the view. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video useful. I'll see you on the next video. If you've liked this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.